Walmart claims. This is Tina.
This is Daryl.
I'm sorry.
This is Daryl DeVeaux.
Hi, Daryl. Thanks for taking your call. Walmart Claim Services is insurance for Walmart and their line of business. Before a case ever goes litigated, we attempt to resolve it within Walmart Claim Services. Part of that involves completing a complete and thorough investigation as to what's going on. So I was hoping I could get more information from you about about what occurred on that day on June 5th in Lithia Springs, Georgia, at the
Um,
Walmart.
I've already submitted documentation, including affidavit.
Okay, so
So
you're refusing to give me a verbal
no,
statement?
no, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am. What I'm saying is this. This is about custodial abuse of a minor. Uh, my daughter was detained. She was cuffed. She was interrogated without Miranda or parental access. She was intimidated for information unrelated to stored merchandise. I'm speaking about her mother and her aunt. Uh, she was the unlawful detainment of me. I was told that I could not be involved. I was blocked. I was boxed in. And at the end, this was by Walmart's loss prevention team in direction of Douglasville Police Department. I was told that my daughter could not be released to me, her parent, and her guardian without my physical ID. All of this can be furthered by the body cam as well as Walmart footage. There was the endangerment of my 3-year-old child. Two loss prevention agents, one placed her foot on the buggy, the other proceeded to snatch the buggy while my daughter was there. Then there was a seizure and theft of my lawfully purchased items. My items were not returned, and the refund it didn't come until about 3 days later, and they were kept under false evidence pretense. And then there's the bad faith claims handling.
Okay. And was every single item of merchandise purchased that day?
Um, to be honest with you, everything that was on that receipt, I wasn't allowed to see any of my items at any point in time. So I am not going to
Hmm.
state whether that is true or not because something could have been added.
Who is the person who made the purchase? Who is the female who made the purchase?
Why is that being asked? That does not have nothing to do with the claim.
Okay. Well, because it wasn't you who made the purchase. So you said I wasn't refunded, but
It
it
was
wasn't
my
you who
card.
made the
It was
purchase.
my card. It was
It
with
was your
my card.
card being
Yes.
handled by another person. Then who was the person who was making the purchase?
Ma'am, let's stick to the facts and the pertinence of this case. These are civil rights
Okay.
and constitutional violation issues. I've already escalated this to the DOJ,
Okay.
the Georgia Insurance Bureau. I've done all that.
Okay.
So can we please?
Please
Because,
include service
ma'am,
to
hold on, ma'am.
Walmart
Excuse me, ma'am.
indicating that
Excuse,
that was
ma'am,
submitted.
ma'am.
You're
Excuse me,
indicating you've escalated
ma'am,
it, so I'm making
ma'am,
sure that you do it the
ma'am,
legal
ma'am.
way.
I have done it the legal way, ma'am. I followed all
Okay.
procedures. So as I was
Okay.
stating, this event happened on the 5th. This is now the 17th. That is 12 days that my child has gone unanswered for being violated. So, in a separate case,
Hmm.
I'm not even going to speak on Douglasville. I'm going to speak on Walmart and what specifically happened. My daughter had a panic attack that day. I heard her through the door screaming and begging for me. I knocked at that door. I was refused. There was only one officer inside that room, but there was five, at least five other adults, Walmart personnel that was inside there that allowed that. Not only that, Walmart personnel allowed, or because I was not in the room, this would be a separate thing with my daughter to discuss. But while inside that room, it was allowed to be shown on camera that I was outside and she was told that I was abandoning her, and she was threatened with DFCS involvement in custody. This was by Walmart. So again, ma'am, I'm trying not to take this personally with you because you're supposed to be an agent of justice, not in a partial party. I understand that you have to uh, do your job as far as making sure that Walmart doesn't get anything taken out more than what they are. But this is a documented, and I want you to understand, ma'am, that I've taken it to social media and to my attorney as well. So if I have to take it further, I'm trying to handle it personally. Understand that.
Are you?
I,
I understand. Can I ask a couple follow-up questions?
yes, go ahead.
Okay. Um, are you currently represented by an attorney in this matter?
I'm not going to discuss that. As I
All
said,
right, then
ma'am.
I'm going to stop discussing this matter with you then, because you refuse to indicate whether you are represented by
And
an
ma'am,
attorney. You told
ma'am,
me you did report
excuse me,
all
ma'am,
of them.
and you've already hold on, ma'am, because ma'am, this is
Thank you.
documented. This is documented, ma'am. So you've already refused me to acknowledge any accountability or anything that I've cordially asked by my
I
given rights.
understand that you have made this, but if you are represented by an attorney, it would be unethical
No,
for
right
you
now,
to
ma'am.
do this.
Okay. Oh, let me answer this right now, ma'am. I am represented by
Are you
myself.
represented by an
I
attorney?
am represented by myself pro se as of this moment.
Okay. And so no, you're not represented by an attorney.
Not at this moment, nope. No,
And
ma'am.
um, I apologize. What is the every single signature indicates that you're a trustee for Regnum Regius Trust. What is that?
It is my irrevocable private trust.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this. Thank you for giving me a call back. I appreciate it. It looks like you provided me some information, but have not answered all of my questions. What I will do is this. I'm going to take back the information you have provided, and I'm going to do a little bit more digging into this and figure out whether it's something that would be covered under our insurance policies. I understand that time is something that you're very concerned with. That being said, a typical investigation does typically take 7 to 14 business days. That is after the initial conversation with the customer, which I'm considering today. So please allow me 1 to 2 weeks
Excuse me,
to
ma'am.
do a
Excuse me,
thorough
ma'am.
review.
Ma'am, excuse me.
In
See,
addition,
ma'am, you're violating my rights right now. I just want to state that for the record, because at the end of the day, upon your first, upon your first communication with me, I initiated then a timeline. And
all right,
today, ma'am, because I'm holding you accountable now. So I want you to understand that you have violated me by delaying and hindering this process in entirety, because simply from the first day, the only thing I asked was to it be within email correspondence so it could be documented for things just like this. And I was refused and I was compliant. I waited. I waited because all I wanted to do was have a chance to be heard, because at the end of the day, ma'am, it's not about me personally, despite the fact that I was detained. Because if it was just about me, I may have been quiet. But my daughter, she was assaulted in Walmart store. She was thrown against a rack. She was dragged by an officer through that store with no Miranda warnings ever, ever. She was denied my parental parents.
so,
So, ma'am, so what I'm saying is this, ma'am. I've asked for Walmart's position on their accountability. I've asked for the security policies. I've asked for the insurance, and to date, I have been denied. So, ma'am, I'm not making any threats. I'm just telling you what's going to happen
all right.
by law. If
So
this,
it
ma'am, hold
sounds
on,
like
ma'am,
you're
ma'am.
throwing a lot of legal things at me, but you're not
No,
entitled to this information if it's outside of litigation or the discovery period in a case.
ma'am, I will
What
take
I
it to
can
litigation if
indicate
that's what
to
I need to
you
do,
is
ma'am.
that I
Okay,
am going to do my job, my duty, my
okay,
ethical responsibility
okay,
to thoroughly review this claim and make a decision based on our insurance policies and whether this is something that applies. That is my ethical duty and the role that I have. And I take that very, I take my job very seriously.
okay.
That being said, you have indicated a couple of things. Now, have you officially filed litigation? If so, we need to have that information, the filing information,
Okay, ma'am. Well, let me answer that
indicating that
question
you
for
have
you.
served
Let me answer
us.
that question for you,
I know
ma'am.
you
So,
have my email information, but I don't show where anything was submitted to any court
It
or
was
notice
submitted.
from the court was sent to us that anything was filed. So can you answer that definitively, yes or no?
As I answered in the beginning, no, thus far, I have not entered
Okay.
any official litigation. But after this conversation, because of your refusal, that is what is going to happen.
Make sure you serve us then. Have a
I
good
will,
day.
ma'am. I will. You too. And this call is recorded.
The paperwork gonna make you feel it. Dig in them pockets and go ahead and come on in. Say it with me now. Give me my money. One more time. Give me my money. Douglasville Police Department. Come see me. Walmart. Thornton Road. I'm here. Come see me.